Let's talk to Clem Chambers, the founder of ADVFN. Very good morning to you, young Clem.
Hi Nick, how are you going?
Living the dream, as they say. Right, FT this weekend. This tickled me. London LSE to offer lessons in cryptocurrency. London School of Economics is lending its prestige to the world of cryptocurrency trading, offering to teach students how to use digital wallets and evaluate initial coin offerings for £1,800. A 6-week online certificate course will begin next month and requires no prior qualifications. The course comes at a time of heightened debate about the lack of fundamental underpinning for cryptocurrencies. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I hope they know what they're talking about because so many people don't. But it would be a good course to go on if you know nothing about it and you want to be on the next big thing. And, you know, crypto is a monster. It's the next big thing. It's going to be bigger than the internet. You know, it's only the start of a massive, massive wave. So why not learn early? I mean, you know, all this rise has been basically amongst all the super nerds, right? And it's now got out from the super nerds into the really, really smart people. So it's nowhere near mainstream yet. So you can imagine what happens when it goes mainstream. So, yeah, this is early stages. So why not get in on it? And it's going to happen because it's better money for many uses. And, you know, that has a use case for the whole sector. That's very, very valuable. We love it here at ADVFN. You know, we get paid a lot of crypto and we turn it into fiat all day long. And it's much better for us for international trade than dollars or other currencies that take days to show up, that we get gouged when we convert, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, absolutely. It's the way that the UK should be going. Now it's going to get a hard Brexit and end up hanging off the end of the world. It better get moving on things like blockchain. Otherwise, you know, that's the way to go. If you want to be, you know, independent and supersonic, you've got to up your beta and you've got to take risk and you've got to dive into the biggest things. And blockchain is one of those things. And I think the UK may just be going that direction, although a lot of the established financial services people are absolutely fighting it tooth and nail because they know that for them it means they're going to have to change their business models, and obviously they don't want to do that.
Yeah. So in terms of the hard Brexit, what's your take on the actual equity markets? Is this a good reason now to basically sell in the UK PLC?
Well, I was actually quite interested in hard Brexit this morning when I realised that really the FTSE has gone nowhere ever for years and years and years. It's lagging horribly behind everybody else. Well, what would happen if there was another referendum? What would happen if we reversed out of Brexit? I think the FTSE would go absolutely insane. And I don't think it's going to go down much because of hard Brexit, because it's all factored in, isn't it? So in a sense, it's a one-way bet on a slightly long shot that we have a second referendum and no Brexit. I mean, you know, I said all along early on, didn't I, to you, Nick, that, you know, Europe was going to nail us to a tree because they have to. They have to nail us to a tree over Brexit or everyone's going to want one. And, you know, they're not going to let us off and they're not going to give us an inch. They're going to nail us to a tree. And, you know, there might be another referendum. It's a 5-1 against probably, or a 3-1 against. But if there was to be another referendum and the UK changed its mind, I think the FTSE would go bananas. So in effect, it's a one-way bet to be long the FTSE at the moment, as long as, you know, the President troll in America doesn't blow the world up, of course.
Well, talking about Mr. Trump, UBS came out with a recent report about these trade wars and said that the equity markets could lose a quarter of their value. And I think BNP Paribas suggested 50% is, you know, could happen. What are your thoughts on the trade war leading us into a recession, et cetera, et cetera?
I think it's all about money flows. And if there was a trade war and it all got a bit serious, then the Fed would pump money into the American economy. And the Fed has got the protect assets fix in on the American markets. You know, the Fed put is in place and they are operating in a market that should sideways trade. So, you know, it's the market after the dot-com crash to 2004-05. So it will go sideways and it will correct and it will bounce. That is the plan. But if we had a major trade war, then America will just print more money and maybe we'll get some inflation. So I don't think, unless something, you know, horrible shows up that's unexpected, I think you're going to be in an environment of sharp corrections followed by sharp rebounds like we saw in the new year. That is the fix that the Fed is working towards. They are going to try to reverse out of their balance sheet. They're going to nurse it along. They're going to nurse the markets along by pumping money in when the market corrects horribly, and by as gently as they can pulling the money out. And that's what's going to go on. So if there was a instance of trade war getting, horrible and gory and going all wrong, they're just going to QE. So the assets will stay up. So I think there's, that safety net, that moral hazard is well in place. So, it's not cast iron. It never can be. But I think there's an underpinning. And that's why you're seeing the market, well, it's not really bullish, but it has bullish tendencies. If you look at the Dow, it is staggering along, but it is staggering sideways. And that's the market that I see. And we will have that staggering, I think, for years. So you buy the dips and you sell the rallies. That's the way to go from here on in. Don't be greedy. Don't buy and hold. When it corrects, buy. When it bounces, sell. And that's what I'm playing at the moment. And then if something ugly and horrible comes along, run for the hills.
Yeah. Clem, we've run out of time. Thank you very much indeed, as always. That's Clem Chambers,
right, Michael.
the founder of ADVFN. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.